They probably look for something a bit more saucy, a bit more flavorful, a bit more spicy.
There are spicier ways to have sex other than family oriented.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But that's
name a few. Name a few, and we'll like compare, because a big part of like the fantasy is the tabooness of it. Can't believe our first episode is gonna be about
public space. You can get caught. You can literally get arrested.
But like
stats.
What'd you say?
Stats.
Oh, dude. Gross.
I just really wanted to say that word.
Yeah, I know you did. You were way too excited to do so. Okay.
I am pain. I am pain. This is how the recording starts. Me complaining.
Classic.
As always. I've been thinking about that a lot.
About how you
about like complaining. I'm always like, remember that time you told me I was always complaining? And I was like, ew, Jay, no. I was like, I'm just stating facts. That I'm always like, now it's like a recurring thought or like insecurity. Actually, I don't know if it's an insecurity. I'm just like, I'm scared that other people might perceive it that way. And I'm like, okay, I need to make changes.
I feel like I'm a bit too out of frame. You're too much in frame. There's too much power on your side.
Because I mostly say the funniest thing. Little disclaimer, today I'm really ugly.
Oh my god. Today?
I just want that to be put in because I want people to know that this is not my usual face. You know, I'm usually prettier, cuter, quirkier.
Yeah, same
harder,
here.
Nicer. Just
nice is not.
Generally better.
There's not gonna have chocolate every single time. That was a one-time thing. It was Christmas.
Okay, what about today?
Do you see chocolate?
I'm on my period. I need chocolate.
You should have sent me a text beforehand. I don't believe in periods. I've never seen I've never seen one before. Okay. Listen. Welcome to... I was going to be humble about this, but frankly, this is going to be the greatest thing you'll ever listen to.
Stop!
Yeah. Welcome to... Are we going with the Jelly Podcast?
I don't think we should do podcast after because it's too normal.
Welcome to the very first episode of the Jelly Podcast.
No.
Welcome to the very first episode of Jelly. It's just missing so much.
No.
There's
the
no
shorter
oomph.
the better. Okay. In this case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course you would say that. Okay. So, do you want to elaborate for the millions of people out there what had happened with that?
So last year, Jay told me, you complain a lot. And I said, because you're always here. When you're here, I complain a lot because you're here. But in general, I don't complain. I state facts. I, place remarks in my speech. I just say things out loud that everybody else is thinking. And not necessarily in a negative way. Yeah, I just state facts.
Yeah,
and I say how I feel. Anyways, and so I was like, you know what, Jay? You want me to not complain and say just positive things about it all day? I'll do it. And I did it. So duh.
It felt supernatural, not forced.
I was always
at all.
I was doing like very funny things. As always.
Name one.
What was I saying? No, but I was doing like, oh my god, Jay, I'm so happy you're here. You do not understand how happy I am.
So you went from someone who complains a lot to someone who lies.
No, but it was big sarcasm, but at least, you couldn't...
Yeah, at least you were positive.
At least you couldn't, accuse me of...
I could accuse you of other things, but whatever.
Because you were supposed to, read between the lines.
Yeah. That it was sarcastic, that you didn't mean it, then I should feel sad. I got that.
So, every once in a while, actually pretty frequently, recently, I'm like, do I complain a lot? Because I know it's a very French trademark thing. Because, French people complain a lot. They're always complaining, always noticing, the the negative thing. Always like, in my country it's better. Oh, we do it like this. We do it like this. And like, I do not want to be like this. I do not want to be associated with like these people, and I don't want to like pick the negative things about what unfortunately runs in my blood, which is French genetics. So, yeah, I just been thinking about it, and I'm like, I had to be careful and mindful and very demure and not complain.
What happened to I'm a brat?
I am.
The duality of brat demure. I'm 100% brat.
I'm 100% brat. But
Really?
for this specifically, I need to be a little demure and I need to not complain. But I do not know if, objectively, I complain a lot.
So let us define what our understanding of complaining means. Because when we had this conversation, it was relatively different. Okay?
Because you caught me by surprise. Like, out of nowhere.
So you went full on defensive.
Yeah.
You're just like, whatever you're going to say right now, I'm going to say it's wrong.
Yeah.
I got that. I got the hostility. Okay, you start with what your definition of complaining is.
Well, okay, no. My issue is not complaining. My issue is more like noticing the negative only in situations.
Oh, I see.
Just being negative all the time, I would say.
Well, it's also calling it out. There's a difference. Because I notice a lot of the negative too. I don't necessarily call it out.
Right. So calling it out is the complaining then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, everything around here sucks. Too many French people.
No, but
Borderline racist. So how's that going? You're being more mindful about?
I'm trying to not only not call out the negative, but also not notice it.
How do you do that?
I just don't. I want to. I feel like I'm a glass half empty type of person, and I need to become a glass half full.
Yeah. And how are you gonna do that?
You practice it. You.
Oh, I see. Yeah. You lie to yourself.
You
until you believe
gaslight yourself until you believe it, which is.
You. What's the term you use?
That's
you
so
brainwash yourself.
You brainwash myself.
Yeah.
Gaslight is better. Wait, listen, I work in behavior analysis. Behaviorism. This is how we do things. But it's true though. I work in this field, so I'm like, I know that I can train my brain to think differently, and I know that if I associate a good like way of thinking with some like a positive outcome, that it'll motivate me to do it more.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanna, yeah.
Like feeding into a positive feedback loop, essentially.
Yeah.
When did you like actively start doing this? About 2 hours ago.
No. It's been like 2 months, actually.
How's that working out?
It's working out.
I think I've noticed.
That's not even true.
Well, I can't immediately recall last time I said stop complaining.
But you've only said that once to me.
No.
That's not true.
No, I've called you out quite a few times.
But because in a specific situation I was complaining, no? You weren't saying it in general, like, you know, you're always complaining.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to bring it up if it's not happening. But it happened a lot, so I brought it up a lot.
This is making me feel even worse.
No. It's just giving you more fuel of motivation to turn the coin. Flip the script.
Right.
Actually, I have...
Chocolate?
I pulled out my phone, dude. I'm gonna fucking email you some chocolate.
You have no idea how bad my back hurts right now. Like, it's so bad.
Do you want...
I didn't know it was gonna be this bad.
A beanbag? I'm also hungover, too. Could you read this out loud?
I'm so fucking retarded.
Thank you.
What is this?
Just think about it.
I'm so fucking we don't say the R word.
You did.
No, I said retarded.
Okay, well that's not what I wanted to show you.
Is that it? Oh
No.
God, this is Jay's humor.
Okay, good.
This is Jay's humor. This is why this podcast is never gonna work.
We'll see. The goal is to see how long I last. Which for the history, but it was a little too long.
What do you mean?
How long I last?
No.
Okay, so you get to choose philosophical question, or you rate my pickup line.
My mood is in rating pickup lines.
Okay.
Jay has never tried any pickup line for real in life because he's.
I have. They just haven't worked.
Right.
It's not me. It's the pickup line,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I'm getting them rated.
That's why he's single.
What?
And
No.
has been for about 5 years.
I've just been waiting for the right broad. Okay, so your goal here is I tell you a pickup line, and I want you to be like really serious. I understand that pickup lines are kind of a meme, but I want you to be really, really serious about this.
So
okay?
like these are not like comical.
No, not at all.
Oh.
It's like I'm trying to find.
These are
A bird.
from you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you came up with those.
Yeah. Some of them are little twists. Like they're like my little flavor of it. You know?
Oh.
Like there's some that you've heard before.
Okay.
Probably. Again, I want you to be very, very serious.
Yeah.
Because this is something I'm gonna use later on. Because everything I've done thus far has not worked.
How much is that serious? How much is that true? Like what percentage of this is true?
You're 100%. Don't even
No, but
try
like,
me.
are you actually gonna use those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, depending on how you rate them. If you say like
Are
these
you
are
in your
terrible,
whore era?
no. Don't call me. I'm a lass of Jesus. Okay.
Are you in the prowl era? Are you in your hunting season? Or you're in a harvesting season? And tried
I don't
coming
like
up with
any
something.
of this.
Go ahead.
Okay. So pretend we're like at a bar.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. Do you know how much a polar bear weighs?
No.
Neither do I. It's probably less than you. Huh? Huh? Make them insecure a bit? Yeah? Make them weak, so they're easy for the kill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fat shaming.
It's not fat shaming. It's motivation.
Is it gonna hurt you if I rate it really low?
Yes.
I'm
Right.
trying to imagine what if somebody actually walks up to me and says this. I'm just gonna be like, huh, you've thought about this for a while. Like, I'd be like,
I'm a tryhard, is what you're saying?
I'll just be like,
Okay, so it should be like maybe simpler.
it feels like it should come on the spot. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
Because this is like, I get the angle. I get the like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like do a pun, do like a lame, generic.
I'm trying to break her down, make her insecure, so it's easy to snatch.
No, you're trying to be funny. You're trying
No.
for her to be like, oh my god, he's so special. Which is essentially what we want.
That's true. Okay, you
So
caught me
it's
there.
like right direction, wrong vehicle. Wrong mode of transportation.
Okay, what? How? So it should be. You said it should be more on the spot, or it should at least feel.
It should feel like it's been less thought of.
Oh, how can I achieve that?
Um,
Not write them down in my notes.
It's just because that's just a random thing. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
it comes
I
out
see.
of nowhere. The teddy bear comes out of nowhere.
Polar bear.
The polar bear. You said teddy bear, didn't you?
Oh, good thing we have a recording.
Oh, this is why it's funny. It's supposed to be funny. It's because it's because you say polar bear, which are supposed to weigh a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is a fat shaming situation.
Depends how you see it.
No.
No?
No.
Alright.
No, we do not do weights
Okay.
jokes.
Back onto the drawing board. I'm taking your feedback very seriously, by the way. So, okay.
I hope you do.
So it should be more on the spot. It should be more relevant to the conversation I'm already having.
Mm-hmm.
And I shouldn't fat shame.
Yes, exactly. Okay, here's the thing. Now, yeah, you can't do anything weight related.
Wow.
No, you
Why?
can't. It's a very tricky situation because it's not okay to comment on weights. Nowadays, you can't. You really can't. You don't know how much effect that's gonna have on somebody, and it's also like, oh, the joke is supposed. The joke shouldn't be that haha, she's fat. Even though you were not fat shaming anyone, even though I know you're not.
I was.
Claustrophobic.
Oh,
Fat
that's
phobic.
That's an interesting topic.
I
I'll say
what?
right now, probably not.
Adding to the cancel. But I
I'm
mean,
already digging my grave.
I mean, you know, regardless of your specific physical preferences,
Okay.
I know you do not discriminate girls because they're fat, right?
Define discriminate.
Like, you don't make fun of them. You don't
No.
think they're lesser people because they're fat.
No.
Right. So even though objectively you're not trying to hurt anyone, that's a tricky, that's a risky thing.
Fine.
That's a no.
I'm gonna just go grab a cup of coffee.
And chocolate?
No, man.
I need the bathroom. What do I look like? Oh, I look terrible.
So, I've got a little secret to share. I can't really bring this up when Mel's here. So I'll just it'll be a secret between you and I. I just want you guys to know. I don't want you to judge her overtly, but Mel is, it's hard for me to admit this, but she's homophobic. She told me once that she once saw two guys holding hands walking down the street, and she told me that she couldn't help herself. She just threw up, immediately right in front of them. Some of it splashed onto them, and she didn't apologize. If anything, she it's terrible. She told me, "Good riddance. That's what you deserve." I was like, "Whoa, that's terrible." They're human beings. But listen. Other than that, she's a good person. Complains a lot. A bit of an elitist, but yeah, just keep in mind, she is quite the homophobe. Also racist too. She told me once that if she could choose, there would only be one race. She didn't precise what it would be, but she did say there would only be one race. And on a separate time, she did tell me that she really enjoys, or she really aesthetically likes people with blonde hair and blue eyes, which kind of, it's very similar to something, but I don't want to make a conclusion too quickly. Hey, how you doing?
That's so sus.
What?
Why do you speak there?
Oh, I was just checking the audio. Don't worry. Not biggie. So far, so good. The audio is pretty good. Yeah, I can work with it. As long as it doesn't get corrupted again.
It's cold.
You want a little blanket?
It's objectively really cold.
You know what you just did right there?
A Frenchism?
You complained.
What? I said I'm cold. What should have I done?
See the glass half full.
The glass half full is I have a roof over my head. Fine, but I mean I could have the.
That wasn't mentioned. You should have started with I have a roof over my head. That's awesome. That's great. I'm so happy to be alive. Generally speaking,
Is this a situation where you think I'm complaining too much, or were you just hee-hee-eyeing?
a little bit of both.
But I like if I'm cold. Okay, should have I said, can you put the heater on?
It really doesn't matter.
Because I said
If
that
you're
because
cold,
I knew.
okay. For real. If you're cold, you're cold. It's fine. It is complaining, technically, but that's okay.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't think it was complaining. I think it was a really bad way of asking you to put the heater up. Because I knew you kept on putting it down. So I wanted you to put it up.
Because I was getting hot.
So I said, I'm cold so that you would go.
Oh, it's okay. I'll suffer. I'll suffer now.
You have a sweater on.
So do you,
Because I'm cold.
Yeah, and I was.
Take it off if it gets too cold. But I'm cold, so I'm gonna keep it on.
I don't want my abs to pierce through my shirt, you know.
But
It's not good.
Yeah, I get it.
More content for the OnlyFans. My titties will pop up too.
Okay. Speaking of
Titties?
poor sexual decisions,
Oh.
go ahead with your fights.
Oh, that was it for now.
What?
Yeah.
That's the only one?
Well, no.
Give me
But-
other ones then. Are they all claustrophobic too?
No! They're just detrimental elsewhere.
Read all of them. And I won't like give feedbacks because you'll know what I think, but just say them so we can all have a laugh.
No! I need content for other episodes! This is gonna be a reoccurring segment. Also,
What
first
do you
episode,
mean?
we haven't explained what this is. But first,
It has to be a whole, like, if you're gonna do this, you're not gonna do like one pickup line per episode. Is that what you envision?
fine, should I do like 3?
I feel like you should do a whole episode where you read all of them.
No, that would get boring.
Huh?
That would get boring.
Why? Because then
1 hour of just me. Okay, it wouldn't
no,
actually be.
that's how. Well, generally that's how it works.
Okay.
Or if you want to like keep a little, like something like a reason for people to keep coming back, which is like they want to know more of like your stupid pickup line. No, I'm kidding.
I think they're
It could be
quite
a thing,
clever.
like, you know,
Also
every
fun.
episode he's gonna be one of his pickup lines, so you better come back every time and listen to the whole thing because maybe it'll be in the beginning, maybe it'll be at the end, maybe
Yeah.
it'll be in the middle. You don't have to. You don't know. You have to listen to the whole thing.
If you come home with me, I can freshen your breath with this Tic Tac.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a giggle of endearment. I think I got you. I think I captured
It's
you.
not in your notes. Like you're not seriously. You did not seriously write it down. Like you would not.
What in hell makes you think I wouldn't have?
I think you would say this and then like disclaimer it as like, hey, I'm gonna tell you a joke. Like I'm gonna tell you something, but just know this is not serious.
Okay, for real, if I would never use any pickup line ever.
You're annoying. You told me you would.
Yeah, I know, I lied. But if people threw money at me and were just like, you get this money if you attempt a pickup line.
Yeah, this is what YouTubers
These are things
do.
I would use.
This is what YouTubers do.
Oh.
For their life. That's for their life. This one is really funny though because you have to like understand the joke of the joke. You know what I mean? There's like, you were telling me my breath stinks. And you're like, oh, the Tic Tac. You know what I mean?
Tune in next time for better and improved, for more pickup lines.
I will let you know if they ever work.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is this upcoming weekend, I'll use these at a bar, and we'll film them, and we'll share the results.
Imagine.
Dude, I think I'm gonna pull a lot of birds.
Imagine.
It's all in the delivery.
No, with that face. I'm kidding. You could be Indonesian, but you're also like you're too white to be Indonesian.
I kind of look like. I feel like I kind of look like Fabien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because he's from like his mom is from North Indonesia, so more of like Chinese descent.
Oh, that checks out. I am Chinese.
And he's also half white. And because you're also half white, like you can see, you know.
We are one
Like,
for one.
you-
We're long lost brothers.
You guys really look alike, actually.
Yeah. Except I'm cooler, right?
You know, one day, so Fabia is my roommate. He's also half French, half Indonesian like me. And one day we were at the thrift store. We're in a line, and then somebody behind us, I don't know for what reason, some very unsolicited like question. The guy is like, "Are you guys wife and husband?" And I'm like, and we're like, no. And he goes, "Brothers and sister?" I'm like, why is that your two and like questions back to back? Your two options are either wife and husband or brother and sister.
So
So concerning.
you've told me this story before, but like think about it. There are a lot of couples that look like they could be
I
siblings.
know, yeah, but
It's weird. Like you could play a game where you try to guess whether two people are siblings or a couple, and there would be
there's
like
a lot of like it was a trend at some point of like people
Oh.
being like siblings or couples,
oh my god.
and then they would say sibling and then kiss. Yikes!
for the views.
No, but they were obviously couples, but like they were like, we're siblings.
Did you hear about
I'm like yikes.
I think a OnlyFans thing where two girls pretended to be siblings to get more attraction. And I don't know if I'm more disappointed with them or more disappointed with the people who subscribe.
I would say, why would you be disappointed in them? They're like using man's
Here we go.
Fucking idiocy.
See, my cancelability is satirical. You're being genuine right now.
Everyone will agree with me.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the polls say.
Everyone on Pornhub is just like incest, but they kind of try to make it legal by just being like stepsister, stepbrother, or stepmom or whatever. Which I guess is like the whole forbidden thing, and like you have to be in secret. But then also like you have other ways of making it hot and like secret, then keeping it in the family.
I think, but I think the whole or a big part of like porn. Prawn.
Oh my gosh,
is
of bring.
Fring.
Because if you take out the O, it's just
Prn. The whole a big part of prn is the fantasy of it, the fact that it is pretty much unattainable. Now, for a lot of people, it's just the idea of having sex that is a fantasy. But, but like me. But for people that are a bit more like action-oriented, of which the Lord does not approve of, they probably look for something a bit more saucy, a bit more flavorful, a bit more spicy.
There are spicier ways to have sex other than family-oriented.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But that's
name a few, and we'll like compare, because a big part of like the fantasy is the tabooness of it. Can't believe our first episode is gonna be about
public space. You can get caught. You can literally get arrested.
Yeah, but what if they have social anxiety? Okay, no,
even
that's actually,
spicier.
yeah, that's yeah.
But
like
stats.
What'd you say?
Stats.
Oh, dude. Gross.
I just really wanted to say that word.
Yeah, I know you did. You were way too excited to do so.
You can. I think you can see the video of my excitement being like.
Just bursting, steaming out. Steaming out. Very explosive.
No, I mean there are so many ways. Exhibitionism.
I feel like minus the scat, because that's just really fucking disgusting. Really, you know what? I can just.
We can
myself.
Swear, please. If we can't swear, it's gonna be really hard for me.
I wanna see an episode where you try not to swear.
Okay.
Actually, you're not that vulgar. I feel like I'm more vulgar than you are.
I'm not that much, because now that I work with people that can't swear.
Sometimes I'm walking around, or
Michael.
if I'm like at a restaurant and there's like a family with like a kid or two like right next to us, I am super conscious of the words because it just slips out so easily. I think I would struggle so much more. Speaking of OnlyFans, or wait, do we have to censor OnlyFans?
Do we have to?
OF?
I mean, I don't think so.
I want to hear your thoughts on something.
Yeah.
It's in recency. Did you hear about?
Oh no, I know what you're gonna talk.
Okay, wait. I want. What do you think I'm gonna talk about?
The 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see your people cancel you right here.
No, because I mean, my people are not gonna cancel me. Your people will probably cancel me.
All right, let's hear it. Okay.
I feel really. I mean, I am 100% for sex work, 100% for OnlyFans. You can do whatever you want with your body. If it's a good way to give money, then you have money. The only thing is like, I feel so bad for this poor girl. Well, no, maybe she's had the time of her life. I haven't seen a single second of footage of this whole thing.
Neither.
Neither. And I don't mean
it's called research.
I do not mean the actual footage of the action. I mean like afterwards footage or whatever, because we actually talked about it with Lilith.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I've seen like interviews of her post the whole thing," and she looked like she was like completely like dissociated. Like, she looked completely out of it. And I was like, I haven't seen any any like nothing about it, just because like first of all it didn't pop up at all. Like I would see people talk about it, but never the actual like never heard. Like, I have no idea what she looks like.
Yeah.
And I think one day like something came up, but because I have Lilith's versions, like our friend's version, saying oh she's completely out of it, completely like, dissociated, like she's had like a terrible time in my mind. Like I feel horrible, and I'm like, oh, this must have been like literally the worst time of my life, of like being. And I don't want to be the type of person who associates like having sex with people for money with something that makes you feel dirty after. I'm just like, when it's that much in conditions that are so. Because it was what, like one room, and then they're all like one after the other.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any time for herself. She doesn't have like the proper good conditions to like feel clean, and then like she has all the things that she needs if there's a problem, whatever. I don't know. I feel like. Ugh.
So I watched a few like snippets from, there was like a documentary about it, like like
And the vlog following along, getting around.
yeah, but it was a bit more on the documentary side. Like there were like interviews before and after. There were like interviews with some of the men that were there. I didn't see the entire thing. I just saw little snippets of it, and I think I saw snippets of interviews before and after.
Okay.
So if we put her in a vacuum and you see like exactly like how she handled it, like from the little I know, she seems, I don't know if delusional is the word, but a bit, there's like a hint of her lying to herself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be completely, I don't know this person, but I think what's interesting to me is like
Well, what makes you say that?
That she's like lying to herself.
Yeah.
About
what?
I think this would make more sense if like we both had the same context, like we both saw the same interview. Yeah. First of all, I don't think I would have to explain, because I think you would understand where I'm coming from. But from my understanding, it feels like, first of all, she doesn't seem the most informed in terms of the consequences of having sex. Like, obviously she does as a sex worker, right? But there was like a question during or right before the stunt, and the interviewer asked like aren't you scared to have like HIV like in your mouth, blah blah blah, whatever. And she had asked like, oh, is that how you get it, like spunk in the mouth? It's just like, yeah, obviously that's how you get that. So
but is that verbatim what happened?
Pretty much. I could.
That's insane. No, I don't want to see
it. Okay.
I really don't. Yeah.
So there's that. That's just one enclosed. Maybe that could have just been one that slipped out. I don't know how well informed. Again, it's very limited to what I did. I didn't really do research on this, but
mm-hmm.
I think the concept is interesting. Oh, I'll finish answering your question. Lying to yourself in the sense like, I'll say what she had said, and then I'll say like why I have the pull to think that she's lying, mm-hmm. or to that she's a bit delusional. She put a lot of emphasis on not disappointing her fans or the men that she sleeps with,
mm-hmm.
and I think with the context of she does definitely give off somewhat of a vibe of naivety,
mm-hmm.
and it just sounds a bit too noble and naive for the situation.
Okay.
Because I don't know about you, but I think a lot of the internet agrees that having sex with 100 people in one day is just pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to do that, like, responsibly, you better know what the fuck you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not clear to me that she was very well informed. Apparently, she has her own little team and stuff like that. From what I've gathered, the team are a bit more like, it's very porn director, in a sense, like, using the star as an object.
Yeah.
It's just like you put all of that in a mixing bowl, and it's just it feels off when you hear her talk about these things a bit. It really depends on the interview. Obviously, everybody has their off days. Like you can do something that's really like committal, and then one day you can be you can have like full conviction. The other day you might second guess yourself. That's just how that goes. Yeah, and I was curious what your thoughts on the idea. Like I want to like kind of take out the girl. I think her name is like Lily Stevens, Lily something. Taking specifically Lily out of the picture, would you, as someone who's like pro sex work and all that, what do you think when the idea, like let's say, Lilith comes up to you, be like, I'm gonna attempt to have sex with 100 women, with 100 men or 100 people in one day. What is your reaction to that?
I'm just like, whoa. First of all, but I'm.
Where do I sign up?
I'm like, sure. My only thing is, once all of it is done, once you've had to go through like random strangers you know nothing about, you don't know how respectful of you they're gonna be. Once all of this is done, you're gonna go home and you're gonna be alone. Like, what's gonna happen in your mind? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's such a.
Well.
It's such an intense thing, and I don't know how much actual pleasure she gets out of it. I'm guessing not that much.
It seems like she did.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like,
it always looks like. It always looks like they do.
No. Like, I don't know anything about like the actual the actual tango, but tangos. But when she talks, she definitely could be seen more towards like aphrodisiac. I don't know if that's the right word. Like someone who really likes sex.
Okay.
Is it not? What's an aphrodisiac?
It's like something that makes you fall in love.
An agent, such as a food or drug that arouses or is held to arouse sexual desire. I think you can kind of make a stretch and use it here.
No,
because she's a horny gal. Allegedly.
That's the thing. It has to be the image that she gives. It has to be this image. She cannot after that be like, oh, it was horrible, I hated it, it was so degrading, it was so horrible. Like, this cannot be the image she puts out after. She has to be this little innocent girl who's gonna be like, oh my god, I'm gonna do that, I love it. Like, this has to be the image because everybody else is like this. This is what guys want to see. You know what I mean? They don't want to like have had sex with this girl and then she spreads like such like a bad reputation for this whole little experience. You know?
I feel like
she has to keep this from.
I think it's bound to happen. Like unless you are someone who has such a strong fortitude, because I don't think it matters. Like you really have to not care. I feel to go through all of that because there's so much that can come up from that.
Yeah.
You can feel like first you can feel like just an object to other people's desire, which I'm sure it's not uncommon for sex workers. I don't know if I want to go too much in depth with like potential problems with being a sex worker, but if you try to overlap like general romance, it's definitely probably very, very like much harder to do so. I don't think a lot of people I'm sure there's a good chunk, but I don't think a lot of people romantically would want to romantically pursue a sex worker.
Wait, what do you mean romantically? What is romantic like?
I feel like a lot of I'll say that I feel like a lot of guys would feel I want to say insecure, but I'll just say generally uncomfortable if their significant other would be, and I'm sure it's the same for both sides, but I think there's probably more proclivity for guys to be more uncomfortable with it if their significant other has sex for a living. You know, I can imagine that sex workers can feel very lonely because of that stigma, let's say. And I don't think I think you have to have quite the mental fortitude to kind of accept that a lot of people will see you in that way.
Right.
Like even in your everyday, like if I don't know, let's say you're like you have a very particular niche. Let's say you're a brony, you like ponies, right? And people find you weird, and they're just like, I would never date someone who likes ponies like that, like My Little Pony. Then there's obviously like a little dilemma. You start thinking like, okay, well, if I drop this, I will probably be more successful in the romance life. But this is something, I don't know, something I'm really passionate about, whatever. Like, assuming that you don't drop it, you have to accept that people are going to look at you funny.
Yeah.
You know? And I think there's something similar with sex workers. I feel like I'm saying all this, but I think this is relatively obvious. You know?
But also, like, we have no idea.
Oh, absolutely not. But the thing is like, they're not like alien species. Like, we're still all human. We can still like empathize with the concepts. Assuming you're not coming from like a strong bias. Like, if you're coming from like, oh, fuck sex work, pun intended. Like, obviously you're gonna see it in such a negative light. But if you're full on pro, no exception, like. So
also, the amount of money they make probably makes it easier to say like, okay, like, I'd rather have all this money than somebody who loves me. Which, I definitely agree with that. Because, like, you wanna have to give up something for somebody who's just not open-minded enough, anyways. Right?
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, there's like, I understand though, like, it's tricky because your partner is with other people, and if you see it as like an intimate act and you don't separate like carnal relationships from, you know, love, like all the like romance side, then I get how it's complicated. But also, like, you don't want to be with somebody who has such a different point of view on this issue on this than you do.
True.
So I feel like it's always better to just keep it in your life if it brings you all this like money.
Yeah. I think one could argue too that like money can only go so far.
No. Money buys happiness.
There's different types of happiness.
Well, there's a happiness where you can do whatever you want. So I feel like that's a big happiness. You can do whatever you want. You can see whoever you want. You don't have to work. Yes, sure. If you're alone, it doesn't matter. But I don't think anyone's alone unless you have terrible personality.
I feel fuck. I didn't register that last part before I opened my mouth.
I'm kidding. I should not say that. But yeah. Money plays a big part, a big role.
Absolutely. I think I would assume that a lot of people get bored of money. And then they start seeking outer fulfillment. And then it just makes it harder. Let's say you're an entrepreneur type, finance bureau type of thing, and you kind of like work through your entire like 20s to like invest and make a shit ton of cash. But you worked day in, day out. You pretty much like your relationships took a dip because the boys are going to the bar and you're just like, no, I gotta check these stocks, you know? So you cut those off. But like by your 30s, you're rich. You can I don't know, invest into the real estate to make yourself even more richer. You can go to all these parties, I don't know what rich people do, but do all these fun things. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, after like, I feel like I'm being generous saying this, but like after like 5 years of just gaining pleasure through money, I could imagine someone could start feeling lonely and the money doesn't really matter.
But you're talking from, because that person that you're describing is a workaholic. They cut all their relations because they're working too much.
Well,
I feel like it happens in a lot of cases, because if you want to make money, you have to work a lot. Yeah. Not in every situation, though, but also there are tons of ways of making friends without having money. That's what the rest of the world does.
Yes.
So to me, if you get bored of money, it's because you have no values. Because like there are so many ways of spending your money that will constantly require you to give money and like to actually be interested in what you're doing and give you fulfillment. But if you're not interested in those things, it's because you don't have the values to be interested, and so then you have no values. It's such a subjective point of view.
Well, like I kind of see where you're coming from, but
like people get bored of money because they keep the money for themselves, they spend it on them.
so yes, this
You know what I
this
mean?
is a factor. I think I'm leaning more towards like the psychology of what having all that money and what doing all these things, because let's say the entrepreneur works 10 years of chastising himself from relationships just to work on well, work all the time. That mindset, that routine, and a lot of these people, they have like this rise and grind, ice bath, meditate, read a book a day, whatever, bullshit like
This
that.
is so funny.
Yeah.
I have to be released so I can send it to someone.
Listen, if it works for you, it works for you. I just don't think it will work for long. It's all. But that inherently is a mentality shift. It is something that, like, if you really want to go down this route, you have to change the way you see the world.
I can't find like specific on like the spot accurate what you just said.
I'm not trying, okay? I'm sorry that this person is kind of cookie cutter, but you understand what I'm saying, right?
I do.
Okay, and the thing is if you do something for what I'm saying is you do something for a long time, you're gonna be not necessarily permanently changed, but you are gonna be fundamentally changed.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can make the work to go back or to go towards a different direction, but if you isolate yourself and let's say you do all these parties and your interactions are very much more on the shallow side and you don't expose yourself to like real deep fulfilling conversations, not only where you're gonna feel awkward maybe bringing these up when you want to, but you might like let's say you got someone who doesn't share their feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, assuming that they're not psychopathic, sociopathic, whatever is going on, at some point they might want to share. And if you don't have that practice of doing that regularly, it can come off wrong in so many ways.
Right.
You can just like immediately like explosion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that putting all of that together, it just if the end goal is to have like strong interpersonal relations, I think some of these routes pave the road in a much rougher, I'll say it in a different way. I think some of these choices we make and these things we decide to do make that goal more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, like, it could be that your entire life you don't give a shit about interpersonal relations or strong, and that's okay. That's also okay. I think at the end of the day, whatever makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's sad is I would uneducatively guess that most people come to that conclusion at some point, and it's usually when it's too late or when you're really deep into the hole.
Okay.
And I brought up the entrepreneur stuff, but I could say pretty much the same thing for SF and SFW, whatever the fuck that means, because only in the sense like you might not have chastised yourself willingly because you're a workaholic, but the stigma, even though like it's so much more acceptable, there are going to be people that not necessarily cut you out or want to distance themselves, but they'll see you differently.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
And it's still, even though we're talking about it all the time, like it's still a touchy subject. Like people get really passionate about this, and there's no I think there's no like right answer to this because I think there's good and bad for all fronts. Like, I don't want to get too much into it because I don't think I've really formulated or developed thoughts on it. But like, it feels to me like sex work is kind of this ironic loop. It can be an ironic loop, or it's God, the word that's coming to my mind is hypocritical, but I don't want to paint it as like so strongly. I guess I'll say what I think and then label it afterwards if it needs to be labeled. But I think a big part of the sex industry is to give power to your body and to allow you to, and we're gonna talk in generals, but allowing women power to express themselves sexually.
You think that's a goal?
I think that's a prominent motivator.
Okay. For women or for everyone?
I would say for everyone, but probably most prominently women.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, even though they get to do this and make a lot of money, and they do have the choice to do this, they do have inherently power with this, at the end of the day they're still being like objectified, they're still being seen, I'll be harsh in saying this, but lesser to a certain extent, right? Mm-hmm. Lesser than just like a human, like it is a really tough topic too, because I will say this, I don't see any of this in a negative light. I think it's super complex. I think I can understand to a certain extent why people do certain things. But I also acknowledge that it is a flimsy topic. Like, it is a very, what's the word? Touchy, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's a touchy topic. It's
sensitive.
It's sensitive, yes. It's nothing's really concrete. It's a bit all over the place. People are very passionate about these things. You've got people, I said this earlier, but like, you've got people that are super anti sex work. You've got people that are super pro sex work, and I don't think you have concrete answers when you have two people just like fighting all the time, right? Why did I bring this up?
Because we were saying something wrong.
Yeah, well, I was...
Could be perceived in the wrong way. Okay.
Oh, it definitely will.
The
accepting.
The interpretation could
yeah.
not be wrong.
I just think that I look too flat-headed right now. It's just getting hot because someone wanted to turn on the
I'm freezing right now. Like, I'm
really?
sitting down so that I could like be in a ball and be freezing legs.
Right.
I'm losing so much blood. And it's also like -8 or something.
Not in the room. It's like 25 degrees here.
It's definitely not. Just go for a shirt. Your little everyday wear.
I got a little ventilation right here. I think I was just making the comparison, like the stigmatization of it.
Yeah.
Ugh, God damn it, these complex issues always confuse me. Now I'm feeling self-conscious.
No.
I'm feeling like I dug myself a fucking grave.
No.
Like, there's no way I'm getting out of this scot-free.
You'll make your little cuts.
Yeah, I'll cut the entire bit out, actually.
Sure.
It's just gonna be pickup lines and you complaining. That's episode 1.
I don't know how tricky it is to actually put something like that in the internet. I mean, I don't know.
It's starting off hot.
Like, there'll be very few people saying this probably, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But
maybe you'll get that one person that will...
influence us.
Yeah. What's the... report us? And that's a 100% report.
Usually it's not actual people, it's just like...
Or bots.
Yeah.
Well, users can report
Good
it and then...
old AI meta. That's not a good accent.
Yo, what was that?
I always go for like South or Brooklyn.
That was not a southern. Give me a southern accent right now.
Actually, don't know.
What in tarnation?
What? Hey, yo, Jacob, trying to get the cows in.
That's not southern. He's like, I could do southern or Brooklyn. Proceeds to exclusively do Brooklyn.
I don't know how to do South. Jacob.
Who the fuck is Jacob?
Jacob, get them sheeps inside the barn.
That was so wrong, and that was wrong.
You know, down in Texas, them good fellas in Texas. Those Mexicans coming in my country, ruining them, jumping off walls.
Jumping off.
I just don't really. I really don't know how to do it.
You were getting in character. Just the accent was off, so you just looked full on racist.
Because that's their most like prohibited characteristic.
Yeah. You hear that, Texas? You're all racist, according to her.
You cannot do it.
Oh. No, I won't. Listen. This is a risky start. But actually I didn't have anything to add to that.
Really?
I think something it goes downhill from here on out.
Okay. My conclusion is I hope this girl who fucked 100 guys in one day.
She's gonna fuck 1,000 in February.
Really?
In one day, yeah. 24 hours. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, at least she's campaigning for it, yeah.
Well, if she does not get any negative repercussion, and I'm not talking STDs or whatever, I'm talking like psychologically, mentally, if it did not do anything to her mind, then fuck how many guys you want. Definitely, because it's giving her so much visibility. It's giving her everything that she's looking for, definitely, in doing all of this, because it looks like a fun challenge, like let's eat 100 donuts per hour. You know what I mean? It's giving that. It's giving just like getting views, like being like a YouTuber, except like on another, like in a different field. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm all for that, whatever. But I want to make sure like she's okay afterwards. Like as long as she's fine, as long as she doesn't have to like dissociate from her own fucking body during like the whole thing, even after, if she doesn't have to like, if her brain doesn't have to forget, if she's not feeling disgusting after,
yeah,
not
like
that she should, nor not that like that's the default setting afterwards, but I'm just saying like as long as she doesn't, as long as she feels good in her own body and mind after, then fine. You know?
Well, let me ask you this: what's the likelihood that she feels good after that?
I don't know.
Do you think, like, absolutely, you have absolutely no clue?
Of the likelihood, no. Cause I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, it's very subjective. It's very like everyone feels differently.
That's true.
But I feel like from what generally we hear about like testimonies from like prostitutes, from like all these kind of things, they're all saying like, I turn off my mind. You know? I turn my mind off and I'm just like, I'm going to work and I don't enjoy what I do, but like this is what I do. And like they have to go through like the horrible guys there. So,
yeah.
You know. But I don't know, because in my mind I'm like, in this situation, maybe it's a little bit more like regulated. The guys are being choosing more carefully, but also they haven't been choosing, right? It's just random guys. They feel like
Yes, it's well. They have like So from my understanding is they set up like a little sign up type of thing, and people that have STI checks are prioritized.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like the limit of it.
Right.
I don't think they even did like a criminal background check or anything like that. Like it, yeah, assuming that what I just said is true, they might have, but obviously the 1,000 is not going to be like a person alone in a room. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just that doesn't mathematically work.
Yeah.
But for the 100 in one day, that's, you can have like you're alone in a room and you kind of like blend in with like a bunch of other guys. So like,
Okay.
so criminals. I don't know. I feel like it would be a bit easier to do some nasties.
Right. Well, to me, it's not like. It's not. I'm scared. Oh,
It's just
more like,
dangerous.
No.
No.
Well, yeah, but that's not my issue. My issue is not who those guys are when they go back home.
Mm.
To me, it's more what they're like, how they're gonna be acting with her on the spot.
Oh yeah, they could probably be some
Like
type
how
of psycho.
respectful they are, on the spot, or if they physically look disgusting,
Yeah.
Because it is
judging people for their looks. What the fuck?
you're only doing a physical thing. You don't know who they are. They have 3 minutes. This is not about who they are when you close your eyes and you listen to them talk.
You can close your eyes, pretend like
This is not in this. This is no.
Chris Pratt is. Maybe not Chris.
Because
Chris Pratt.
And then you're dissociating.
Yeah.
That's my issue. Cause we're talking about what? Cause the girl I was talking earlier, the influencer who's a sex worker, talks about her clients, blah blah. People in the comments are telling her like, oh, how do you do this for work, or how do you not feel like shitty afterwards, blah blah. And she said something that I thought like was pretty relevant, and I've never seen it from that angle. But she was like, we all go to work, we all hate work. Well, we all, like, most of us hate working. We all go through like shitty situations. None of us wake up in the morning and be like, oh my god, I'm so happy to go to work. Everyone says Monday is a horrible day because you have to go back to work. And she's like, me too. Like, it's the same thing for me. I don't enjoy what I'm doing. I'm not doing this because I enjoy it. I'm doing this because it's like that's the way I make money. And like you guys go through bad moments at work just like I do, but they're just like it's not a different level. It's a different
room.
It's a different like
yeah. It's.
And I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like I can see how out my work. I get treated like shit. I don't have like any money. My pay is ridiculous, and it's not at the level of like what I do. It's not enough for what I do, for what I provide. I don't get the recognitions. They just like bring me around whatever they need me. They don't respect me as a human being, as like what I do. And even though I give all that I am for somebody else, like I give all my energy, all my time, I give it for somebody else. And I don't get anything out of it, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, but we've normalized that because we're not even on body really. But also, I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I went on like this.
No, it makes sense.
Like I just wanted to like say that because I don't know. I want also people to say that way. But so on one hand, I agree with this. On another, I'm like, yes. But also reminder that having sex with somebody is not just being treated like an intern and like bringing coffee to the boss. You know what I mean? Like you're giving something different.
Yeah.
You're giving. I don't know if it's more of your stuff or like it's different, but it's something else. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna have to deal with a boss that's a disgusting pig, it's gonna be different. If like I don't know, if he like verbally abuses me. Whereas if I have to sleep with him, because that's like the work situation. I don't know. So like
yeah,
that's why the problem with bringing 100 random guys would be a problem, because if you hand choose them, then there are less chances of you having to dissociate from what you're doing, because you have to forget that you're doing this with somebody who's disgusting. You know what I mean? Which is why in my mind, the actual likelihood that out of these 100 men, there are some people that she felt horrible sleeping with is pretty high, I believe. Which is why after when she goes home, I'm not sure she was all like,
yeah. Well, the obviously the higher the number, the higher the
chances of that happening.
Yeah, margin of error type. Mm-hmm. Like the percentage wise of margin of error still sticks, but like 1 out of 10 is peanuts compared to like 10 out of 100 compared to 100 out of 1,000. You know, if you have 100 bad experiences, even if we take out the sex work and it's just like just talking to people, you know, if you have like a cashier job or whatever, if you have like you got 10 interactions, you get the one that affects you a certain way. You get 100 interactions, 10 of them are bad. Most people would focus on the bad, so that like the more that happens, the more they'll want to kill themselves.
Stop. No, you can't do this. I think the reason for why we focus on the bad is because the bad is gonna have long-lasting repercussion, whereas the good ones is gonna be memories. And for me, memories do not affect you as much as the physical and psychological scars that it's gonna leave you to have had a negative.
But like, if you have like 3 out of 10 interactions that are just like sour, why is it so like? What do you mean by like memories? Like a bad scenario can still be a memory.
Yeah, but you have to recover.
Oh, I see. Like there's more effort put into it.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I understand that.
This is why I'm all for like girls sleeping with a lot of guys. My only thing is you have to know that when it goes wrong, it's harder than when it goes well.
Yeah.
And I do say this, like, I know it's a very subjective. I speak with experience. This is why, like, I want to make sure people know. But also, like, it's me. You know, I react to things differently than other people. But this is why I feel like I'm worried for this girl, because I'm like, that's how I would be reacting. Like, I'd be scared.
Yeah.
If it was me, I'd be scared because I know how long it would take for me to recover from, like, just 1 out of the 100. Like, it wouldn't matter if it was just one and, like, I've had 91, like, awesome mistakes. It wouldn't matter to me because there's been this one guy and it would take me years.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And the fact of the matter too is when you flip a coin and let's say you want to hit heads every time, flip it once, you get heads. But the more times you flip it, the more.
Pardon that. Heads.
Is this what we're stooping to? These
you
low hanging fruit.
You said fuck sex workers and you said pardon that.
That's all. That's in the past. I'm a different person.
Well,
I'll let you learn from my mistakes. Huh?
You coined your bad pun. Now I coined mine.
Coined. Flip heads. Haha.
Stop.
We should probably explain what this is.
What? What is this? What this? Did we close the subject? You're giving me ADHD now. You need to like close subjects.
Okay,
Jay.
okay.
Those you're insane.
So
you're crazy. We're just gonna like start talking about something else right now.
I can cut it to make it more structured.
That's crazy.
Okay.
No, but for me, Jay, for me.
Fine. We'll put a little cherry on top. So
Box 2. Yunal's explanation was really right and really true. And
what the fuck did you just say? You just spoke a foreign language.
What?
Repeat what you just said.
I said little box around. Yunal's explanation was really right and really true. And that's it.
Okay, remember when you told me that you had no idea what you're talking about on that one clip I sent? And you're just like, this is what...
No, I know. I don't even know how you got it.
I think I've just adapted to your dialect or whatever.
No, but how did I not? Because
I guess I had the context of everything surrounded it.
Right.
Compared to
no, because I said it out of nowhere. Because what I was saying was, one of our subjects could be eating disorder. But I do not articulate at all.
I think I just read... Because, okay, outside of that clip I sent you, this was you, okay? You grabbed the chocolate, you lean back, and you're like, oh, I'm so fat. And then you turn to me, you're like, one of our subjects could be eating disorders. With your mouth full of chocolate, too.
Also, yeah.
And so I'm just like, I can read between the lines.
That's so funny.
But, yeah.
That's why, okay.
Yeah, that's why you're here. You're just here to make people laugh.
so funny. You're so quirky and
Okay.
silly.
So what I wanted to know, because you as someone who is
Awesome.
very what? No,
Awesome.
you're not. Don't lie to yourself and don't lie to the audience, okay? For someone who's much more like overtly supportive of this, I was very curious to
Hilarious. It's
What?
Sad, very sad for you, but sure.
how what? How okay. No, we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna use I'll say what I was gonna say. For someone who is overtly, and I hope I'm using this word right, overtly as in like you're obviously like supportive of this,
Okay.
or maybe not loudly because it has like a negative connotation, but you're obviously like it shows, right?
Mhm.
I was curious to see what your reaction would be to that. And I've got a good idea. It's I wasn't expecting an extreme answer. Part of me was kind of like
I don't understand. Like reaction to what?
to the idea of a girl sleeping with 100 men, or just this story.
Oh.
Right. I'm putting a cherry on top.
I'm so.
She's high, guys. She smoked a doobie.
You
right
do not
before.
know. You're so hard to get. Okay.
No, actually, I'm curious. What were you gonna say? I'm so hard to.
Follow.
I'm just complex. You're one to talk
I
to.
thought you were talking about like. Should we say what the podcast is? I thought you were talking about that.
Oh.
Oh my.
No, I wasn't.
God. That's why I was like, "Are you changing subject?" And you were like, "Yeah," but you were.
Yeah, and then you made a big deal out of it, so I'm going back.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm adapting to you. Maybe
My
because you're a
reaction
bit too
was
slow.
just, "Oh, slay," but it was mostly like, 100 guy is a lot. It's good stuff for you.
I think. Yeah, I think I accepted
it was-
an answer like this.
If it were 100 porn stars, then I wouldn't be as worried.
Yeah, because it's much more in a professional setting.
Yeah.
You're getting essentially randos all over the world
Yeah.
that are flying.
And then I'm like, oh my god. Like, think about it. Why does it turn you on so bad to know that you're gonna fuck a girl who's like 100 guys? Like, why is it turning you on? Like, why?
I think
I'm so
most
confused.
people are tunnel visioning on the person, like the star themselves. I feel like OnlyFans too is so like it has the biggest potential to be parasocial, right? Because there's like some DMing that can happen, and there's like requests and whatnot.
Yeah.
And those guys, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like tunnel visioned on, I get to sleep with
Okay.
my icon, essentially. You know, they're not thinking of
Okay. In that case, okay. Or if it's, oh, I want to participate in this because like, it's really a fun thing or whatever. But if it's the whole like, I want to do this because we're gonna be 100, which is also surprising. Because in my mind, I'm like, guys always hate the idea of like sharing. Oh, like they want like because like
I'm just like, well, you know,
there's this whole thing where like, oh, the less girls slept with somebody, the cleaner she is, the more like desirable she is, and so definitely in my mind, at least in my mind, I feel like the whole agreed upon thing is you want a girl to be pure. That's why there's always like this whole like fucking like making this girl lose her virginity, like my virgin sister, because it's all like
yeah. I think a lot of people obviously judge the girl, the star.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that this doesn't happen, but I think the guys are taking definitely like the bigger L in this situation.
Oh,
like it's
100%. In all situations.
It's the most. Shut up.
In all situations regarding porn, the guys are ridiculous. Like they're ridiculous. They're so ridiculous. Like to me, I have this vision of porn where it's like us girls, and I know I'm gonna get so much like
I'm gonna
hate
have to
from you.
censor you, dude.
No. I know, like you're. Oh, right. You'll beep.
Yeah.
I know you're probably not gonna agree with me, but the way I see it is, girls are in to make money because they can target or like play with this like little man weakness, and they're like, doing worry blah blah, we leave with our money, and guys are like, oh my god, and we're just like, like if I watch a video where the girl is obviously the most theatrical performance, and guys will be like, oh my god, and I'm like, I can't even watch it because of how like fake it is, because of how I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
And guys will love it, and I'm like, what? And they're all my issue is also like they're all like this. They're all like this, and I feel like all girls we know this is fake, and like I feel like most of the same guys, and then the rest I'll be like, what? And in my mind, it's so ridiculous.
Listen, we're simple creatures, alright? It doesn't take much for us to be happy.
No, but to me, it's so fake that like, why do you even, like, what?
If it's not fake to them, it's like,
why do you do this?
well, obviously, if they see it as fake, they're not gonna enjoy it. But it could be like, I don't know, someone that just doesn't have enough experience.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like fake, I don't necessarily exactly know what you mean by theatrics, like like pretending that they're enjoying it type of.
Yeah.
Right, and I think a lot of people just subscribe to like the fantasy. Like there's like the suspension of disbelief. Like maybe in the back of their mind, obviously there's going to be people that are like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
You know? But some I would guess that most or a big chunk of people are more like I know this is fake, but like I'll just like turn my thinking off.
Yeah.
Especially in those situations where you're watching those videos, you know? I feel like, especially for guys, like, you just, and then you start thinking afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
You start thinking a lot. Like,
this is why guys have, like, the post-nuts...
clarity?
No, the opposite of that. Because, like, post-nut clarity is, like, you're okay, right? But there's, like, that post-nut, shame. Because you guys have terrible scenarios going on before, and we're just, like... We don't have this craziness going on. We're clean. You know what I mean?
I think the shame can come from everywhere. Like especially it's not just like
you're ashamed because you guys know exactly what you're turned on by.
I don't think that's the only reason. Like you can do your thing and be like,
I think it's just
can't
a general
believe
shame of existing. Of being allowed to walk amongst us.
Jesus! Someone get her!
I want this to be out.
Oh my gosh. Actually, you know what? It's just gonna be this. We'll let them choose. All three of our friends that watches.
All 5 of our friends.
I'll send this to like everyone.
Okay.
Just this clip.
I mean, like people know my stand on this issue.
I think they look at you and they're just like, yeah, she's like SJW activist type. She's woke. And then they'll hear you actually open your mouth. They're just like, oh. She's sexist.
I stand by it.
I
stand by it. Not proudly. Just like, because I don't want to be this annoying person, but I'm just like, I've come to the point where I'm like, I've tried thinking of every other possibility, and I'm just like, I've been proven wrong all the time.
You still have a long life ahead of you. Not that long. I think your lungs are going to give out before that.
I mean...
Maybe you'll burp yourself to death.
I just, no. Anyway, go on.
It would have been first. What was I saying? Post-nut clarity. Post-nut clarity.
That's actually something that terrifies me. I'll talk to you about that after.
It's not, like, obviously, like, you can do your business, and then you're just like, oh, I can't believe I did that off of Tentacle. You know, you could do that, but also, especially, I feel like it's very popular in the men's world of like being like no nut and being like disciplined, stoicism and all that, and then you give up to your animalistic instincts, you know, and then once you do that, it's just like I'm weak, you know. There's that too. That's where I lean.
That is so crazy.
That's where I fall in.
That's so insane that like guys will sometimes like associate.
It's not alpha.
No, but they'll be like, stop masturbating, it's bad. And I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, I've never heard one single girl ever.
Well, because when we do it, if you do too much, there's hair that's gonna grow onto your palm, and you'll be sterile. Your balls will shrink. You never heard about that?
About what?
If you're a dude that masturbates, I don't know how to censor that, but if you fiddle the diddle, if you, I couldn't think of it.
Play the flutes.
On yourself?
The fiddle is also a fiddle. What is it? Is it like a guitar?
I think it's a violin.
Oh, okay.
No, the reason why like fiddle the diddle, fiddling is stigmatized, at least in the realm of like I would say mostly like men, especially like with the whole implication of like the alpha male stoic type of movement. It's seen as falling to your instinctual desires, and I think that there's just like the idea probably is just to be in full control of who you are, and if you fall for those temptations, you failed in controlling yourself. That's how it's seen. So that's why I would say like post-nut clarity is multi-layered. Wait, what did you say? It's.
I didn't say anything like that.
I said multifaceted or something like that.
What? No, I didn't say that. That's not what I think.
I
think there's two ways. Like it's either positive or it's negative, right? From what I've heard.
No, you can be like I'm satisfied but also disappointed. You know. My stress is relieved, but I've created more stress. You know.
No, but
I wouldn't know.
Well, that's negative. That falls into the negative.
Wait, there's still the satisfied part.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's a burden off.
No, but you can be like fully happy, or you feel this like shame, and like that's what I've heard.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's fully happy.
Really?
No. Like it feels okay. At least I can only speak for. I can mostly confidently speak for guys. It's very much such a nonchalant thing. Like it's not enough to give you like proper happiness, you know?
That is so
weird.
It's like I wish I could be a guy just to like no, because I don't understand.
I
don't understand why. Like how.
Jesus.
Are you hungry?
I don't
Me too.
think so.
Oh, this sex toy.
No.
It looked like a bossu. I'm literally like this. You're literally gonna see me the whole time like this. I look insane. Look.
You look like a little hag. Okay. I wanna set this off.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Why are we doing this? This is a little podcast about two individuals who barely know each other and are trying to get to know each other, right? No. So what this is two individuals that have completely contrasting opinions fighting for your own entertainment.
We do not have contrasting opinions that much.
I think I'm dying from the inside. I think I'm starting my period. Now, what this is, we do not have very, very contrasting opinions, but we do
have complementary opinions.
Aww. We're like two little jigsaw puzzles fitting together, being forced to fit together. Look how loud your ew was. It was so big. Honestly, it's just two friends chilling.
friends. We're
Are you gonna use my jokes?
ancient workers. Colleagues. Ancient workers.
We're ex-colleagues.
Ex-colleagues.
So we're ex-colleagues, and she's desperate enough to come over and have a conversation with me.
And he's desperate enough to have me as a podcast co-host. Because I would... I have a lot of other people.
Look at all of this self-deprecation. You're just burying a little grave for yourself. It's okay. We'll put you through therapy with all this new...
No, I just mean... I'm saying that because, like, how low is it for you to reach out to me, somebody you've known for 2 years, to co-host a podcast with, when I have so many other friends that I...
You should get Emily Red on here. I'm very curious, like, you've talked so much about her, like, I just want to, like, pick her brain, you know? In so many different
Are you
ways.
gonna post this? I don't think you can.
Oh, it's okay. She knows it's a joke.
I've
Right?
never
Emmy?
once
Emma.
mentioned your name to her.
Oh, that's okay. Just send it to her.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't.
That's good.
Don't do that. So what this is 2 ex-colleagues having conversations about anything really.
Mm-hmm.
Just chillaxing.
We have no prior knowledge of anything we talk about.
No. So please take everything we say with a grain of salt.
The whole bottle, the whole thing of salt.
Actually, yeah, the entire jar.
Imagine this works for some reason, and then we get famous.
Oh yeah.
They give me permanent residency without taking in account that I
Don't say it.
am from France.
Oh, okay.
And I get to stay here forever, and we're rich, and I go to Costa Rica to the beach every winter, and they recognize us in the streets. We get invited to events. I get to say no to brand collaborations when they're not ethical, and I get to post this on my story to spread awareness. And yeah.
So I wanted to do this to help me become more eloquent with my thoughts and to not fear speaking out those thoughts. And I just wanted to take on projects to keep myself busy. I like to do stuff to make myself happy, and she did this to get famous, to make a lot of money and
No.
spread...
TB perfectly aged.
Shut up.
TB perfectly aged. I'm doing it because I love to yap.
That's true.
That's it.
Honestly, that's why I
And
asked
because
her.
no one else would do it, which I forgot. So.
Would it surprise you if I said you're the first and only person I asked?
No, I wouldn't.
Damn, that's sad.
What?
That's sad. You're the first person that said yes.
What do you mean sad?
It's sad that you think that.
You're so rude. Who else did you ask?
Actually, you're the only person I asked.
Because there's only me.
I put all my money on you. If you would have said no, I would have...
You would have done it alone?
I don't think I would have.
It's not as funny. Because you're just like talking and you're betting on people being interested enough to listen to
Yeah. Which I'm... I'm not. I'm not. We gotta bounce off each other.
But also,
right?
yeah, it's boring for you, I feel like. If you
But-
just speak, I probably couldn't.
It'd be very, like,
I could, but-
echo chambery.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want that. And I think the big reason why I with you is because you would challenge me and put me in check.
Okay.
Anything else you would like to add?
Any what?
Anything else?
No, just like don't take it too seriously.
Oh yeah.
Just our opinions.
Don't take it too seriously. Sometimes I expect that we're gonna have conversations that go a bit more on the chaotic side.
Yeah, it's gonna go crazy. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have like the same opinion about things.
Maybe.
I mean,
Probably not. I hope not.
okay.
I hope we don't have the same opinion on things. No. I think whatever happens, I think we're gonna end up being fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you for watching the very first episode of
Jelly. Jelly. Period.
Thanks, guys.
Jelly production.
See you next time for more.
Jelly tour.
You didn't burp once in this.
No, because I didn't eat anything.
Oh, yeah, you made that very clear. Stay tuned next time for more pickup lines. Next time I'll bring up some philosophical questions, and we're gonna get down and dirty.
Hilarious.
I feel so fucking terrible. Like, that was like genuine, but I also felt like so fake saying all of that shit.
It feels like we're taking ourselves way too seriously.